Make it a little bit more approachable, right? Because Sagrantino is very angular.
It is, of
so
course.
the question is it similar to something that's more familiar?
No. That's just the beauty.
Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Welcome to On the Road Special Edition with Stevie Kim. This three-part series follows Stevie in the region of Umbria, visiting the Consortium di Montefalco and meeting charismatic new president Giampaolo Tabarrini. Here they attend the award ceremony for the 2018 vintage.
So, obviously what you're telling me is that Montefalco, Sagrantino had a particular signature style, characteristics. And now the individual winemakers and the producers are giving their style, right? Their character. Having said that, however, if we were to make a gross generalization, okay, just speaking about Sagrantino in general, how would you compare it to other big wines? For example, we spoke about being close to Tuscany, Brunello of the situation.
Well, let me say, I wasn't expecting a question like this, but I try to keep an answer anyway. The point is this: if I look to the tannic point of view, so maybe a Barolo. But in terms of structure, body, or color, it can be Bulgari. So it's like if you take a Bulgari wine and you couple with a Barolo, a great Barolo, and what's going on? It shows up to Sagrantino. So it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. The mix of Barolo and Bulgari. So very far away, two different territories, two different climatic conditions. But Umbria is this, it's two different climatic conditions together. This is another exception.
So when, if we were to compare to, let's say, an international wine or grape variety, where would you go? Like, I always love when I speak to, foreign palates, let's say Americans or others, I always like to say, if you like red Burgundy, why don't you try Barolo or maybe even Etna? I know, it's not the same thing, but that is kind of on the same wavelength in terms of something that they could probably try, as to the next wine. So what would you say for Sagrantino?
Well, Stevie, here is the beauty. And your question is so beautiful because you are asking me, can you tell me something that looks like to Sagrantino, to tell to our guests how it looks like, how it's similar to that is the beauty.
That you have to make it a little bit more approachable, right? Because Sagrantino is very angular.
It is, of
So
course.
the question is it similar to something that's more familiar?
No. That is the beauty. There is not a wine that you may say looks like to Sagrantino because I may find something that, for certain aspect, is similar. I may think to certain Taurasi.
Taurasi.
To certain Taurasi, but at the end, maybe the tannins are similar or certain parts of the smell or the structure are similar, but they're not twins. Sagrantino is not twins to anybody. It doesn't look like to nothing else. The beauty is this. It's different. It's another stuff. It's his own. He has his own character, have his own color, have his own smell. It doesn't look like to Merlot. It doesn't look like to Cabernet. It doesn't look like to Nebbiolo or to Nerello Mascalese or to Aglianico. It doesn't look like 100% to all of them. Before we was saying it's a blend, if we want to try something similar, it's a blend between Piedmont and Bulgari in Tuscany. So it's similar to Piedmont because of the dryness and the thinness of the tannins, but it's not so light in color. There's not only the skeleton that usually there is into Barolo, there is also the chicha, the meat, that usually there is into a Bulgari. So for me, it's a compromise.
So Bulgari, when you say Bulgari, I mean, you're talking about the Bordelaise blend, right?
Yes,
so,
of course.
So the Cab,
Yes.
the Merlot.
Yes, I was talking. Yeah,
Right,
my feeling.
So it
I
is-
wasn't thinking to Bulgari Rosso. So yeah, no, that wasn't the idea. So it was the apple lever Bulgari. So in terms of Cabernet Franc. Stuff like that, with the complexity on the nose, with the darkness in the color, with the long smell and the multiple nose that every time you turn the glass, new stuff come out. So when you have a so complex things, like a Sagrantino, try to fix it into a box is not so easy, because you try to go out from the box from any corner. So I have no answer directly for you.
No, well, that's very honest, and I like your frankness. You don't pretend to know or have the answer, and that's very.
I would like to tell. Well, you know, the point is that we know what we drink, and we drink what is foundable. Sagrantino is produced in less than 1 million bottles.
In total.
In total, for all the world. So when we talk about...
That's actually something good to know. So actually there isn't that much to go around.
This is the matter.
It's not for everybody, because it's unavailable for everybody.
This is the main trouble. Sagrantino is produced...
It's a challenge to make it more famous.
If you make 10 million bottles, 100 million bottles, you talk to 10 million people, 100 million people. If you take 1 million bottle for all the world, you may talk to 1 million people per year. So we're sorry, but it is what it is.
Right, absolutely. That's a very good point. So I understand it now. So listen, I want to ask you something a little bit easier.
Okay, make me easy question. I'm a grower, remember that?
I know. So what is the typical food and Sagrantino pairing?
How? Come on.
One from, I would say, in terms of a regional pairing, so from the area.
And one from...
One from more international. One international, I mean, like, is it a burger, tacos, or anything else?
Okay.
Go.
First of all,
Yes.
many of our U.S. friends never came to Montefalco, to Umbria.
I know.
But the most of them, I'm almost sure, because I tasted several times all around the world when I was traveling to the United States, they eat at our tables. I say, what you mean? When you think to truffles, black truffles, the most of the black truffle comes from here. When you think to the smallest lentils of the world.
What do you mean? Can you just go back 1 second?
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say the most of the black truffles come from here? What does that mean?
Umbria is the largest producer of truffle, black truffle, in Italy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. We have the...
So Piemonte is white.
Piemonte is white,
right?
we are for the black.
Okay.
So every time I travel...
I think that's very good information, actually.
Every time I travel all around the United States and I go to visit the friends of the restaurants that purchase our wine, I used to knock the doors of the kitchen and I go through. And what do you have tonight? I have this and truffle. Where you got it? And every time they tell me where they got it, and this is a company that I know because it's from my area.
Right. That's a very good point.
This is
So
one of the best pairing for Sagrantino is
with
the
truffles.
truffle. Is the truffle because they're born in the same land. They're born together, they're couple since ever. So it's a great pairing. But at the same time, we have a lot of other raw materials that our friends on the other side of the ocean used to have daily. The smallest lentils of the world come from Castelluccio.
What?
The smallest lentils.
Lentils? Oh, okay, lentils.
It's up to Castelluccio.
Okay.
It's up here.
Oh, I see.
When we talk about prosciutto, ham,
Yes.
sausage, salami, do you know?
Don't tell me Umbria is the largest producer of prosciutto.
No,
I'm just
no.
going to cut everything and start over, because if you tell me Umbria is the largest producer of prosciutto.
No, it's too easy that. That is too easy. It's even more. You have to know that in Italian language, butcher is macellaio.
Right.
But the one that butcher the pigs and make sausage, salami,
Yes.
is not called butcher. It's called norcino, from Norcia, our
Okay.
village.
All right.
Because we teach everybody in the booth how to butcher the pig, how to make the sausage, how to make the salami.
So
how to
Umbria
make
is the
ham.
heart of the butchering.
Yes.
Is that
We
what-
teach everybody how to make prosciutto, ham. So the real ham, that is not the San Daniele.
No.
It's not the San Daniele, the sweet
Right.
prosciutto. We're talking of the salty one.
Aha.
So the salty prosciutto is done by a norcino
Oh, I
all
see.
over. Norcino
Okay.
is a man that is coming from our area.
Okay, so these are the local food pairings.
But this is just to talk about few. We can go ahead
No,
for
we don't.
hours.
No, we don't. I think you have an event here in,
For sure.
in
See?
an hour, so I don't think we have 2 hours to do this. What comes to your mind when you think about
Wow,
Sagrantino?
that is another beautiful question. One of the easiest things to pair with the Sagrantino is just a steak. So I'm thinking to hold the steakhouse.
Steakhouses.
All the steakhouses.
Right.
So all the steakhouses is perfect because all the wines that are rich in tannins, that are rich in alcohol, need of something that have grease. So how better than a steak? A steak rub seal your mouth with the grease and tannins and alcohol, clean, remove it, replace the taste, replace the smell. That is the point. When you drink a wine like a Sagrantino by itself, you have a sensation. When you drink a wine like Sagrantino with a steak, it's another world. Because the grease in your mouth affect your taste and change your opinion in any point of view.
That's fantastic. Okay, listen, so we're going to take a break, come back, and we want to talk about the white wines of Montefalco.
See you later.
And that's a wrap for this portion of our 3-part series in Montefalco, Umbria. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to check out all our fascinating interviews from the world of wine on ItalianWinePodcast.com, or find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Himalaya, or wherever you get your pods. Chin chin!